Intended for their eyes only. Now when someone decides to share private photos for revenge, they will face criminal charges. New Mexico is the latest state to make revenge porn a crime. News 13's Catherine Azone is in the Newsplex with what you need to know. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Crystal. Now, it's meant to embarrass or shame an ex or an enemy, blasting nude photographs on the internet that were once shared in confidence via text or email. Now there are consequences for those who make those photos public. Governor Susana Martinez signed the bill into law yesterday. It makes it illegal to disseminate these sensitive private messages into the public without the sender's permission. That includes when the goal is to harass, humiliate, or intimidate that person. Proponents of the law say it's an important one, considering people have taken their own lives because of revenge porn.
I think that if pictures can lead to suicide or anything tragic to that one person that someone is getting revenge on, then it'll help put a stop to it.
Private parts and topless photos of women sent with the intention of causing harm will be covered by the law. The Public Defender's Office tells the legislature, quote, "We expect a notable number of persons charged with this crime soon after its inception, perhaps the greatest numbers in children's court," end quote. For a first offense, it's a misdemeanor. The second time, revenge porn becomes a felony. Back to you, Crystal.
All right, thanks for that information, Catherine. Now, at least 16 other states have similar laws in place. New Mexico's law goes into effect come July 1st. The charges will stick. A former CYFD employee is now indicted on charges for raping a boy. The boy claims while at Lincoln Pines juvenile lockup near Ruidoso, he had sex with a 36-year-old psychotherapist, Julie Barham. Yesterday, officials said the boy claims Barham would snort prescription drugs with him before having sex. Barham started working for CYFD just last fall. She's charged with 7 counts of rape, distribution of a controlled substance, among other charges. Barham resigned when the investigation began. More details are surfacing about the APD officers accused of running an illegal background check for a friend. The city's new civilian police oversight agency found accusations against Officer Regina Sanchez were true. Sanchez ran a check through a federal criminal database on a woman who had a restraining order against the brother of the officer's boyfriend. The agency says that she also lied about handing over the personal information to him.
This literally could cost someone their life. And this is such a serious crime. It's such a serious infraction. And I didn't get the seriousness from the letter.
APD has not said if or how it will punish Officer Sanchez. A man APD was calling a person of interest in a recent murder is facing attempted murder charges in another state. APD had been wanting to talk to Omar Romero after 23-year-old Luis Rocha was found dead inside a car on Wednesday. Sheriff's deputies in Florida now say Romero is now charged with attempted murder there. They say he and his girlfriend arrived Saturday and were staying with family. The family caught Romero stabbing his girlfriend several times, allegedly saying she must pay. She cannot be trusted. Bernalillo County Sheriff's deputies have identified the man found dead face down in a ditch last week. The body of 58-year-old Lawrence Garcia was found on Blake Southwest. Detectives say right now they're ruling out foul play, but they have yet to determine an official cause of death. Grief counselors will be on hand at an elementary school to speak about the sudden death of their principal. Stephen Maresca, the principal at Arroyo del Oso Elementary, suffered a heart attack last week while on vacation for spring break. He's a very well-liked principal and has been with the district since 2006. He did start as a teacher. Maresca was the principal at Arroyo del Oso since 2012. Listen to this. Popular grocery stores are pulling ice cream products off their shelves. Sam's Club and Kroger, the owner of Smith's, are pulling all Bluebell ice cream products. That after one of the ice cream plants announced it was temporarily closing. Last month, Bluebell recalled some of its ice cream products contaminated with listeria after it was linked to 3 deaths in Kansas. Time now is 6:05. A live look over New York this morning as authorities there tried to track down the anonymous artist responsible for putting up a sculpture of NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden. Authorities discovered the sculpture right here, placed on top of another monument in Brooklyn yesterday. According to a local website, the artist wanted to honor Snowden and others just like him. They say he sacrificed his safety to fight, quote, modern-day tyrannies. Snowden was a National Security Agency contractor who exposed covert surveillance programs when he leaked classified NSA documents. More fallout this morning over a Rolling Stone article over allegations of rape and abuse at a fraternity in Virginia. And now that fraternity is seeking legal action. The University of Virginia fraternity Phi Kappa Psi plans to sue Rolling Stone magazine for alleged reckless reporting. They claim the now retracted article hurt their reputation. The story centered on a student who said she had been gang raped at the fraternity in 2012. The announcement comes after a Columbia University report concluded the magazine failed to meet proper journalistic standards. And finally, take a look at this. An extraordinary rescue in Russia. Dozens of passengers working to move a train after a 70-year-old woman got her foot stuck between the platform and that train. The passengers then scrambled to rock the train away from the ledge, freeing her foot. Amazingly, she did escape, and get this, she was not hurt. Can you believe that? Finally, war start here. An Albuquerque woman fears for the safety of her son after a neighbor's dog attacked her dog, killing it. News 13's Catherine Mazzone is in the Newsplex with why the dog responsible is now back at home just a few doors down. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Crystal. Now, the woman says she watched as a pit bull grabbed a hold of her small Maltese from underneath her own fence. Minnie died after the attack. It happened Friday afternoon in this southwest Albuquerque neighborhood. The woman says she heard her dogs Minnie and Mickey barking, but by the time she got there, the pit had already grabbed a hold of her dog from the other side of the fence. The small dog was taken to the vet, but her injuries were so bad she had to be put down. Minnie's owner says the pit bull even tried to attack the animal control officer who called for backup. Now the family fears their young son could be next.
He could have thought it was a friendly dog and tried to pet it, and
it was getting angry.
It was getting angry. You know, it could have bit him.
The city shelter says the pit bull made it back to its own property, and they say they can't take the dog until the case is resolved. Crystal, back to you.
All right, thanks, Catherine. The city recently went under fire after claims by shelter employees they've released hundreds of dangerous dogs back to the public. Animal Welfare says a neighbor is not facing any charges this morning after shooting a woman's 3 English bulldogs. It happened Saturday morning in this southwest Albuquerque neighborhood. When Stephanie Fonseca's dogs got out of the backyard, she immediately called Animal Welfare and went looking for them. But it was too late. Animal Welfare says a homeowner shot the dogs because they were trying to attack his chihuahuas.
We've now got witnesses stating that there were 15 rounds fired into my pets. I had 2 smaller puppies that were also killed. And then I want answers. Why? Why? Why would you feel the need to do that?
We tried to talk to the neighbor, but he could not be reached for comment. We have new details this morning about a deadly shooting involving state police that happened started Friday afternoon rather, when Edgewood police received a call saying a man shot at someone with a rifle. Police soon found the suspect, 34-year-old Ethan Knoll, who barricaded himself in a car with guns and threatened to shoot police. State police and Santa Fe deputies were called in to help with negotiations with Knoll. They lasted until early Saturday morning when police say Knoll threatened police with a rifle. They shot him. He died on the scene. State police continue to investigate this shooting. We checked, and the man who was arrested for indecent exposure at a playground is out of jail this morning. Police say he was caught with his pants down. Someone at the apartments near San Pedro and Montgomery called police saying 28-year-old Christopher Watkins was naked walking around the complex's playground area. According to the criminal complaint, officers spotted Watkins, who quickly exposed himself to them. Police say he appeared very drunk and told them, quote, it was the alcohol. Watkins is now charged with indecent exposure. Governor Susana Martinez has signed a bill that will help the state's nursing shortage. Senate Bill 341 provides some loan opportunities and loan forgiveness for aspiring nurses who wish to enter the classroom and teach the next generation. The goal is to get those instructors into the classrooms of rural nursing at schools. A sheriff's department is under state investigation for how it spent funds that was supposed to be spent for fighting drunk driving. The state auditor is conducting a special audit into possible misspending by the McKinley County Sheriff's Department. It will look at whether the county took about $400,000 a year in federal grant money, then used it elsewhere.
The allegations are that those were used for other costs in the department that may have been overtime pay or other different issues. But these are dedicated federal funds. They're supposed to prevent DWIs, and you can't do that. That's illegal.
So if misconduct is found, it could jeopardize the county's ability to get future federal funds, and it might have to pay back money that was misspent. State health figures show McKinley County's rate of booze-related deaths is more than twice the state average. The auditor says all of the spending in question happened under former Sheriff Felix Begay. He says current county officials are cooperating. Begay hung up on News 13 when we called for comment on this. The audit is expected to take at least a few more months. Construction is wrapping up on that brand new Bernalillo High School. Crews broke ground on the 76,000 square foot two-story building just last March. Work is expected to be complete by next month, way ahead of schedule. That's great news. The $34 million project will include state-of-the-art science labs as well as a cyber cafe for students. Officials hope one day down the line a bond election will free up funds for a performing arts center. Time now 6:36. We start now with a live look over our nation's capital this morning, with the president is busy today trying to push through his latest nuke deal with Iran. But it's being met with opposition on both sides of the aisle, many saying Iran can just not be trusted. Meanwhile, presidential nominee hopeful and former Florida Governor Jeb Bush is admitting he made a goof when he listed his ethnicity as Hispanic on a 2009 voter registration form. The New York Times obtained the published the form. Bush's son tweeted out a link to the article using the hashtag honorary Latino. Bush's wife and children, they are Hispanic, but he is not. Bush is considering a run for president come next year. Meanwhile, happening today, a jury is expected to begin deliberating this morning in the death penalty trial of Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. In closing arguments yesterday, prosecutors once again showed graphic images from the 2013 incident, telling the 12-person panel Tsarnaev wanted to punish America. His attorneys argued he did indeed carry out the attacks, but was under the influence of his brother Tamerlan, who orchestrated the plot and built the bombs. The bombings killed 3 and injured more than 260 others. A Delaware family is fighting for their lives this morning after being poisoned at a Caribbean resort. Now, a criminal investigation is underway at the hotel in St. John's. The family of 4 was allegedly poisoned by a deadly pesticide. The business says Terminix had just fumigated the lower unit next to where the family was staying. The odorless, undetectable gas attacks the lung and nervous system, causing respiratory and even heart failure. Authorities say the husband and both sons remain in a coma this morning. Their mother was just released from the hospital. Terminix says they are cooperating with investigators on this. Now on to this dramatic surveillance video of a carjacking at a Georgia car wash. There you can see a woman jump on the hood of a car. It takes others a quick second to realize what's really happening, but soon after, others come to her aid. And then suddenly a man also at the car wash, seen here, he grabs his gun and takes action. The witness fires a shot into the car. That's when the accused teen carjacker stops. That's where he's held at gunpoint until police finally do arrive. Man's vacation